speaking of premium streaming television, as we talked about a bunch of it here today already, Mandalorian is one of the great fun shows that's out there right now. And of course, how far away are we from the new season?
Like a week.
Yeah.
Like a week or two?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
New season of Mandalorian, season 3 coming out. The trailers have looked really solid, great. I love that we're going to Mandalore. We're going to get some more open war. We're going to get a lot more Mandalorians in there. Very, very excited about it. And so a lot of us are counting down the clock. Well, Jon Favreau wasn't just content to have season 3 ready to go. According to a new report, and according to Jon Favreau himself, Jon Favreau's already done writing season 4. It's done. And he said, what's interesting, he kind of alludes to the idea that to make season 3 the best we could, I needed to know where we were going. Where are we going? And so he started developing season 4 while they were doing season 3, and then kind of finish off the scripts for season 4. He said a couple of really interesting things here. He said this. Let's go over to my screen for a second. He said this. He said, yeah, season 4, I've written it already, said Jon Favreau. We have to know where we are going to tell a fully formed story. So we had mapped it out, Dave Filoni and I, and then slowly you just write each episode. So I was writing it during post-production because all of it has to feel like a continuation and one full story. Now he goes on and talks about this. This is really interesting too. He says, and then he's talking about Dave Filoni. He's doing Ahsoka, which I'm in production with him, but he's the writer and the showrunner on that one. And so to understand what's happening on other shows or even Skeleton Crew, they all have to take place in this. They all take place in the same Star Wars time period. So there's a lot more things that we have to keep in mind and stuff that we've built up from previous seasons of The Mandalorian as well. So the one interesting thing that Favreau talks about here is that season 4 is written. We already know where we're going. We've got it all mapped out. The episodes are fully written now, ready to go. So that tells us that, yeah, there's going to be a Mandalorian season 4. Not that I think many people doubted that there would have been one, but we can give that as a big confirmation now. There's going to be a Mando season 4. But also him going on to talk about, we have to be completely aware of the connection between these different shows. Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, Mandalorian. They don't mention it, but probably Boba Fett as well. And you know we're going to get crossover events. Like maybe not movies, maybe not a crossover series per se, but you know in various episodes we're going to get some crossover events. And I think it's really interesting the way Favreau's saying, look, we, all of us making all these different shows that's under our umbrella, we all have to be aware of what's happening on the other shows for what we're doing because there is an interconnected thing there, which is what really to me says we're going to be getting some crossover stuff. Whether that's Ahsoka showing up in Mandalorian season 3, which by the way, I don't doubt for a second that we're going to see Ahsoka at least make an appearance in season 3, if for no other reason to help really build up and hype the Ahsoka series. So I took a lot of interesting stuff out of this. Anyway, Rob, you had a chance to read Favreau's comments. What do you take away from him?
Well, I love the fact that they know where they're going, that we're going to get an extended, you know me, John, I love authorship. I love when stories are tightly constructed and they don't meander and they seem like there was a lot of thought put into it. So this is right up my alley. This is exactly what I want. And if it also leads me to believe that the third season of Mandalorian that's about to drop is going to be pretty damn good. I mean, I'm expecting the best season of Mandalorian yet because, you know, they've really already created some really interesting directions for the show. The retaking of Mandalore, the Darksaber, Grogu coming back. And all of that is, I think, what people want out of this show. And I think they've ironed out the kinks in the first 2 years. They know what they're doing. And I think it's like with Star Trek. You know, Star Trek The Next Generation started to get
okay,
really
we
good.
are at 1 hour and 26 minutes. That was the Star Trek marker on this one. Okay, good.
It was really good in the third season, so I would expect that this season of Mando is going to be the best yet.
You know what? I completely agree. And I don't know if that's just me having blind optimism, but the trailers look fantastic. Anyway, Chris, Jon Favreau kind of spilled a bunch of stuff here, talking about the scripts being written, the interconnectionists being in awareness. What was your main takeaway from everything he said?
I mean, like you guys, it's nice that they've got a game plan. I think that's the key thing here. And yesterday, it was announced on Making Star Wars, I saw CBR reposted this, that they are set to film Mandalorian Season 4 starting in the fall of this year. So I would hope that they have all of these things already written if they're already going into production itself. But I think that's one of the things you have to be really, really aware of, as we've seen with other extended universes. You need to know what's going on in every pocket of that universe so everything can feel very cohesive. So good job, Jon Favreau.
And here's where
Let's
it
not
becomes
have it be Boba
especially,
Fett.
I mean, it sounds simple to say, hey, it's a good thing to have your plan laid out. But in the world of Star Wars, we have unfortunately been given a very real world reason to be very, very aware of the importance of that. Because, when you look at, again, I make no apologies for it. I think The Force Awakens is spectacular. I liked the second one, had problems with it, and the third one, The Rise of Skywalker, was just utter garbage. But that was all. The reason it went so downhill so fast, because they had no plan.
Well, and the plans that were set up, they just went, I don't like them.
Yeah,
Get rid of
They
them.
reacted.
Yeah.
But even then, if they said, it's one thing to set up something in something, it's another thing to set something up and then already have the plan for what you're going to do in the next one. They just decided to enter into the new Star Wars films, and I know I sound like a broken record on this, to just wing it and pull it out of our ass as we go, and it'll be fine. And it wasn't fine. And I think hopefully part of this is Kathleen Kennedy saying, I had to learn a very important lesson. Jon Favreau saying, we've learned the lesson from what happened there. And realizing, hey, if we're going to make Star Wars stuff and we're going to have this vast universe, we have to have a plan. And it's amazing how much better things go when you actually plan things out. Imagine that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Favreau said, hey, all of season 4 is already done and written and ready to go. Talking about we're always making sure everybody's aware of what's going on with all these interconnected shows. What is the part that stands out to you the most? Part of the reason why I think Favreau wouldn't be a bad choice to be the next head of Lucasfilm. But whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his masterclass on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite masterclass, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. So guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Just go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.